Hello, YouTubers. Ghost here. Got a lot of reviews to cover, and not a lot of time to do it. Just kidding. I have all the time in the world, of course. Yeah. Alright, so first I'm going to review the Quartermaster that excites me the most. And I bet you're wondering, well, gee, why in the world would this one excite you the most? Well, let me tell you, it's probably because of this thing right here. I love being able to spin this thing around. I mean, I can't do it on camera because otherwise I'd like just knock everything off my desk. Um, but otherwise, I just love spinning it around. It's kind of cool, and just like having it in your pocket, and you just put your finger in the hole and pull it out, and never mind, that's gonna sound nasty. Anyway, I love this Quartermaster. Quartermaster is quickly becoming one of my favorite knife companies of all time. Now, just a little bit of background. I'll probably make a different video on this, but just a little history on Quartermaster. They got started in 2012, and they're an American-based company. They're based right out of Texas, in this small town called Dripping Springs. Never been there, but anyway, they have their facility there, and they make all their products here in Texas, in the United States as well, obviously, because Texas is in the U.S. Anyway, now you know where I live. Uh, but yeah, so Quartermaster, based right here in Texas, makes all their products right here at home, which is awesome. If I didn't say that before. So if that matters to you, if you really, really dig USA made blades, well, then you might want to check out Quartermaster if you haven't already. Um, so there you go. There's a little history on the company. So more into this bad boy. This is the model QTR-5 TC Calvin. Now I'm not going to give you the specs on this guy because you can go to like bladehq.com or any of the other websites and find the specs. I'm not here to give you specs. I will tell you that this is a 2-inch blade, and the steel is BD4P. Um, and I'm not very familiar with the steel, but I can tell you that it performs extremely well in my experience. This comes very sharp despite the stock thickness, um, which I really don't remember at the particular this moment. Probably like 4 millimeters. I'd say it's about a 4 millimeter stock. Um, but yeah, so got that. It comes very sharp out of box. Not razor sharp, but it is very sharp. Again, especially for the thickness of the blade. Excuse me. We have a very nasty tip here, which is of course characteristic of most hawkbill style blades. All right, so another thing to note about Quartermasters is they all have this tri-spoke pivot right here, tri-spoke pivot assembly, whatever you want to call it, which basically consists of this pivot area right here, very big pivot, and then in here, you probably won't be able to see it. Let me see if I can focus. Focus. Yes, you can see the little brass pieces here, and basically what it is it's a cage ball bearing system which Quartermaster uses, and what it here we go again. What it is two brass washers, and the ball bearings are put in there and they fit together. So it's a caged ball bearing system. I know a couple other companies do this as well, but I can't remember them off the top of my head. I believe Kershaw does it, the KVT, Kershaw Velocity Technology. They have a caged ball bearing system as well. This is kind of different because it's a brass washer with the bearings in it, and if I remember correctly, brass is kind of a self-lubricating metal. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I've heard. So it allows this Karambit to open very smoothly and very quickly. You can either use the thumb hole, or thumb slot I should say, here, and flick it open, open it slow. But you can see here that I have the clip position for left-handed carry if you're going to carry it like this. If your pocket was here and you clip it on like that. but I actually carry it right-sided, so it sits in my pocket. Say this is the pocket, and you just clip it on like that. Obviously, it's not going to go over my finger. But anyway, the idea behind that is this little guy right here, this little nub here, can actually be used to wave it. Now, it might look a little impossible, and at first it is a little difficult to get it to work. But with a little practice, you can get it down to where you pull this out and wave it open 100% every time, no problems whatsoever. And that's really why I like this design so much, is because all it is you just pull it out of your pocket and it rips open and you're ready to use it, you know. Mostly for utility use, of course, you know, because at work I'm opening boxes and cutting straps every day, all day. So this is particularly good for it, and I really love this blade shape. Yes, it is a little aggressive looking. It's small, but it does look aggressive. That's what she said. Anyway, so this is perfect for cutting straps off of boxes, I've noticed, because I just whip it out, you know, wave it, and then I cut the strap like that, and, you know, boom, put it in my pocket, it's done. You know, whereas most knives you have to go here, open it up, cut it, and I mean, okay, it saves you a step, big whooping, you know, deal, you know, but I think it's really awesome. So again, let's see what else. It is a stainless steel frame lock. This is not a tie frame lock, and it's stonewashed along with the blade, which I think was a particularly good choice because, you know, it's a good working finish. It's gonna add a little corrosion resistance, keep it looking pretty attractive, I think. I think it's a nice stonewash finish, and mainly it's a good working finish, if I didn't already say that, because if you get scratches on there, you're not going to be able to hardly tell. But yeah, this is a stainless steel frame lock, and I don't know if you can, yeah. But also this tri-spokes pivot acts as a over travel stop, so this lock bar won't extend too far and end up ruining the knife. Though, since it is a stainless frame lock, I don't think that's going to be much of a problem. But a nice little addition, you know, to the knife. I think it adds some class. Kind of reminds me of the David Curtis spot pivot on his F3s and other models. So I don't know if that's, I doubt that's copyright infringement or anything, but kind of an interesting thing to note. So yeah, you can see the lockups at about 30%. Excuse me, more like 20%. Anyway, it's not an exact science. Yeah, you can see that it's a partially flow-through construction. You have a backspacer here, which becomes the filler for the Karambit ring. Very nice feature. I like it a lot. The only problem with mine is that right here, the spacer is a little off, as in, like, I can feel it. Like, I can feel the where, you know, the difference between the stainless and then the G10 spacer. I can feel it because there's a little, the fit and finish is a little off on this. But it doesn't bother me when I'm spinning it or opening it or anything like that, so I really don't care. I could send it back to Quartermaster and they'd probably give me a new one for, you know, nothing, you know, excluding the fee that it takes to ship it there. See, another thing I like on this particular Karambit is this little node right here, because it's perfect for the extended grip. If you know anything about using a Karambit in a Marshall, as a Marshall blade, I should say, it's perfect for that extended grip, because you can, it's just curved ever so nicely, so you can put your thumb right there and it is not going anywhere. I mean, obviously you're going to have a little wiggle, but it is perfect for that. It's also very good if you want to do some striking as a non-lethal tool. You know, when it's closed, you can use it, you know, here or here. You know, maybe even use it as a glass breaker. So I find that that is a particularly nice feature. I really like that. Let's see what else. The G10 on here. Just a note. It's not really that grippy. I would compare it to, like, if you've ever owned a CRKT M16. This has got about the same traction. I mean, you can feel the dimpling on there, but it's not very aggressive at all. What's going to hold you in ergonomically with this guy is the ring and, of course, the shape of the handle. Um, so ergonomically, I find this to be perfect, despite its odd shapes and the angles on it, which Quartermaster is really good at stylistically. That's kind of what they go after, is a blocky look and certainly a beefy knife, um, which isn't, some people's preference, but I really, really like this knife. This is one of my favorite EDCs. It's in my rotation constantly. Last thing to talk about is the pocket clip, and I like it a lot, except for one thing. The good thing is the fact that it's loop over, it's strong, it's stonewashed with like the blade and the stainless frame lock. But the bad part is the fact that it's so thin, and by that I mean width-wise, like how far it sticks out from the handle. And the problem with that is the fact that if you try to put this over thicker pants or jeans, it's not going to clip all the way, and you're going to have it bending out to the point where it might eventually, bend it out permanently or break it, God forbid. But that wouldn't be a big deal. You send it in, and they'd probably just replace it for free, or they might just send you a new clip. Who knows? But it's perfect because it's ambidextrous. You can put it on both sides. Works beautifully. Loop over clip. But again, it is a little thin, so I actually can only wear this with certain jeans or pants that I have because of the fact it's thin. Thicker pants won't accommodate this clip, and vice versa. But overall, this has got to be one of my favorite knives in my collection now. Price point is about $150. I believe it's $148 at Quartermaster's site, and just ever so slightly less on Blade HQ. But yeah, this is by far one of my favorite knives in my collection. No doubt about it. Epic, epic blade. Another thing to note about Quartermasters is they usually do their knives in runs of 300. So as you can see, I have 255, a 300, and that's another cool factor with Quartermasters is the fact that they are limited. They're not made forever. So Quartermaster has a lot going on for them, but again, I'll break that into its own video. But right now, this is what we're going to focus on. So if you're looking for a small folding Karambit design, I think you don't need to look any further than this. There is the Emerson Karambits and the Fox Karambits, but honestly, this is probably the best one I've run into so far. And that's just my mileage. Yours may vary. It just depends on what you're into and what you're going to use it for. This is, first and foremost a tool. And, secondly, yes, I think it could be used in a self-defense role if you know how to use a Karambit. And I could even break that into its own video. But a Karambit is a fairly good self-defense weapon if you know how to use it. But anyway, this is great for me. And the fact that it's numbered makes it a collectible somewhat, especially if you're into Quartermaster. And although they are a fairly new company, I don't know. They're one of my favorites. So, alright, I think I've rambled on for long enough. I've got more reviews coming out very, very soon. I've got more Quartermasters, of course, and I'll be buying more Quartermasters toward the end of this month. Hint, hint. Anyway, so hope you all enjoyed. I'll be seeing you around. Peace.